Hi everyone, my name is Katie, and today I am the driver for the session, and I'm here with my navigator.
Hi, my name is Bonnie. I'll be navigating this session.
Okay, so today we are covering chapter 2 of the Tech Cloud application. So here we have the application, here we have a link to design the tacos. So here we have our header that says design your taco as well as the image. So designate your wrap. So I'm going to choose a flour tortilla. Pick your protein. I'll go ground beef. Choose your cheese. I'll go with cheddar. Determine your veggies. I'll go with tomatoes. And select your sauce. I'll go with salsa and sour cream. And then I'm going to name it. So I'll just give it a name of tester 01. Submit the taco. Then we are now redirected to the order page. So here we have the header as well, the image, and then your taco in this order. Here we have the name tester 01, a link where you can also um go back to the page to design another taco. So over here in this application, we have the input field to your personal information like your name, your address, and also how you pay. So these are my taco masterpiece too. So I'll just insert a name, street address, just create a dummy. So a city, I'll just say this over here because why not? Then how I'll pay is say credit card. So you're gonna add a credit card number, expiration. My form is probably wrong, but bear with me. CVV, with the order. And as you can see that the credit card is not a valid number, and as well as the CVV, I mean the expiration date must be formatted as month and year. But um, maybe if we try and do it correctly, so just get a dummy credit card number. And then I'm going to submit. Not a valid credit card number. I don't know why it's saying that all the time, but it does work. So moving on to the code. So we will be starting with a domain object for the taco orders. So this is the taco. No. So here we're beginning with the ingredient. So I'll just go over this file now. Sorry. So over here in the ingredient file, we have the import called Lombok. So what Lombok does is it actually implements the annotations that auto-generate getters and setters to string equals and hash code as well. Moving on, we have the data. So this is part of the Lombok. So it just gives the data like the getters and the setters to strings. Moving on, we have the private final string ID. So this is a unique identifier for the ingredient. So as you can see in the example, we have which is an ID for the cheddar. Next we have the private final string name. So this just displays the name of the ingredient, like over here, cheddar. Moving on, we have the private final type. So this is just a category of the ingredient. So here we have an example of cheese and protein. Um, and then we have our enum. So the enum basically represents the different types of ingredients used to group ingredients in the taco design form. So we here in the enum we have our types. So we have the wrap, the protein, the veggies, the cheese, and the sauce. So this is just it for this file, and then I'm moving on to the next file to explain. So here we are moving to the taco page. Um, sorry to our taco class. So here we are just importing the necessary data that needs to be imported that I will explain in the code. So yeah, starting over here we have the not now, size, and private string. So basically what this section is doing is we can see 1 equal 5 message equal to name must be at least 5 characters long. So if your name is not, well, if it's less than 5 characters, you're going to get this error message that will be displayed. Um, so the not now also just makes sure that you did enter a name, and the in that section where you enter your name is not empty. And then we have the private string name, so this just means that it cannot be accessed by other classes. Moving on, we also have the not null and the dot size, as well as a valid. So, as size min equal to 1 message, you must choose at least one ingredient. So basically what's going on here is the not null makes sure that you did select a block. Like over here, I'll display this over here. Do this. Go and design another taco order. So, um, it basically checks that you did select at least one of these blocks, and you don't submit a empty page, as well as the size. The same explanation goes for the not now. So you must at least choose one ingredient, and then the valid, just make sure before you submit everything you did follow the necessary order to submit your taco. So we're going to test it out now. I'm not going to choose a taco, but I'm going to enter my name. Just go with first name, submit taco. As you can see, that didn't go through. But obviously it didn't warn me. It's fine, but we know that we're supposed to at least select a box. Now, to test out the name section, go to this, go test, submit your taco. And here we have our error message. Name must be at least 5 characters long. Um, Now we moving to the taco order file. Just close this. So again, we just have our imports. And this file is just to represent the customer's taco order, including the delivery and the payment details. So here we importing the data, basically what is required over there, and then also we importing the no args constructor. So it's just telling the annotation it must not import a class it accepts arguments. Next, um, so here we have the annotation not blank. So and if it is blank, it will display a message. Delivery name is required. This is for the delivery name section. Moving on, we have the delivery street. If it is blank, it will display the error message street is required. This is the city. So here it's going to say if it's blank, city is required. Next, we have the one for the state. If the state box is empty, it's going to give an error saying state is required. Here it's for the postal code. So it's going if it's empty, it's going to give this error. Zip code is required. Next we have the credit card section. So if your credit card is an invalid number or the wrong regex, it's going to say in not it's going to give the error not a valid credit card number. Moving on, we have the credit card expiration date. So as we saw earlier in the beginning of the demo, I did add the wrong date. I formatted it incorrectly. I added the year first instead of the month. So if that is wrong, it will obviously give you an error message saying must be formatted in month and then year. As well as the CVV code. So if it is wrong, it's going to give a if it's wrong or empty, it's going to say it's an invalid CVV. And then we have the private list tacos. This is just a list of tacos included in your order. And then over here we have the public void air taco. So if this taco is null, this taco new array list. So it's just going to add a new order to the array list because this taco does not exist. And then here we have the public list taco get tacos. If this taco is null, this taco new array list. So this just gets the list of tacos and if it is null, it will return all the list of tacos. Moving on, we are moving to the controller. This controller, let me just see. Okay, okay, so here we have the controller for the design controller Java. So the purpose of the controller is to handle all the HTTP requests sent to the back from the front end to the back end. So let us begin. So here we have our annotation SLF4J. That just enables logging in with the SL4 F4J. Basically it writes the logging code without you having to do it manually. We have the controller. This just marks the class as a Spring MVC controller. The request mapping, so this will just direct the user to the design page, which is the design.html over here. And then the session attribute taco order versus the taco order plus multiple requests. So now moving into the code. So here we have the model attribute. So what it does is it categorizes the ingredients to the model for rendering the form. So as you can see, we have IDs for the specific ingredient type. So a flour tortilla has a FLTO as the ID, a corn tortilla has a COTL as the ID, ground beef has a GRBF as the ID, canitas has a CARN as the ID, tomato has TMTO, lettuce has LETC, cheddar has CHED, monetary check has the check as the ID, salsa has the SLSA as the ID, and as well as the sour cream has the SRCR. And then here we are looping, so it's just going to group all the ingredients by the type and add each group to the model. And if you take a look, it doesn't have to be lowercase, but it will just map what we have in our HTML file. That's the only reason why we have the lowercase. Give me a second. So here we have the model attribute. So this is where we're going to initialize a new taco order if one doesn't already exist in the session. Moving on, we have another model attribute. So this is just going to, okay. So the name taco, public taco taco, return taco. So it's just going to initialize a new taco object for the form binding. Next, we have the get mapping. So this is where we will be handling the get request. And so here we have the public string, show design form, return design. So this is just going to render the design HTML form. I think I'm just going to place it there because I think it's the next page that I will have to explain. So it's going to render this page basically. Oh, my word. Yeah. What was in your brain? I removed my return to design. But anyway, moving on. In the series, we'll just display the design HTML. Next, we have the post mapping. So this is where we will be handling all the post requests into the backend. So here we have the public stream process taco, a valid taco, an error, model attribute, taco order. So it's going to handle the post request when the user submits a taco design. And then we're going to validate the taco and add it to the order and then redirect the user to the order form, as we can see over here. And then lastly, here we have the private ingredient folder by type, ingredients and types, and then return ingredients upstream, filter and collections. So this is just going to filter a list of ingredients by the type. So for example, let's just say we chose cheese. And then it's going, let's say we chose cheese as one of the ingredient, and then it's going to list, so those methods are just going to list all the types of cheeses available. Like for instance, let's just say cheddar is available, and you chose cheese, so it's going to go through all the list of cheeses so you can select what type of cheese you want. Moving on, we're going to the design HTML. So here we have our HTML design page. Here we have the title, Taco Cloud, the link to our style CSS, a header to design your taco as well as the image source. So here we have the form for the post request. Basically here we have the one for the wrap, we have the one for the protein, one for cheese, one for veggies, one for sauces. And then we have our input area where you will name your creation. I already explained the errors you will get if you did something wrong on the design page, as well as naming it. So you must have a name and it must be 5 or more characters long. And then you have the submit button that where you can submit your order. It's quite straightforward. Moving on. Okay, so here we have our controller, the ingredient by ID converter. So this is the string component. It converts a string ID into an ingredient object. So this is used by the string MVC to automatically bind the form's value, like the checkboxes IDs, and the two ingredient objects when processing form submission. So here we have the private string ingredient map. This is the map that holds all the known ingredients keyed by their IDs. We're using the hash map, so you can see that. And then we have the constructor that populates the ingredients map with the hard-coded ingredients. Each entry maps an ID like the FLTO to a full ingredient object, which is a flour tortilla. And then this is just the list of the ingredients with their specific IDs. We went through that. And then over here we have the override method. This is just going to convert a string ID like the GRBF into the corresponding ingredient, which is ground beef. And then this method is called automatically by Spring when the convert by the by Spring when binding form data. Straightforward as well. Moving on. We have our order controller. So in the order controller, like I said, it handles HTTP requests related to the taco orders, displays the order form, process submitted orders, and mentions the session scope with taco order objects. Here we have the SLF4J, the controller, the request mapping. By this time, we are going to the order. Is it order design HTML? Let me just see. Order form HTML. Sorry. To this file over here. And then the session attribute taco order just keeps the taco order in session with multiple requests. So moving on. Here we have the get mapping. So this is just going to handle the get request to the order current and it's going to display the order form view. Next we have the model attribute. So this is going to initialize a new taco order if one already exists in the session. This also ensures that the form has a backing object. Next, we have the post mapping. This is where all the post requests that the user submits to the order form handles. And then basically it just validates the order, logs it, clears the session, and redirects the user to the home page. So if there is any errors throughout the form, it's going to redisplay the form if there are any validation errors. And then the log info order. Submitted. This just logs the order details, session status. This is just going to clear the taco order from the session, and then it's going to redirect the user to the homepage after the submission was successfully handled. So here we have the HTML file, our title, the link to the CSS, and now our form and the post request section. So here it's going to give the taco name, and then it's going to deliver it to the form that you filled in for the delivery name. I explained the errors as well, so I'm not going to go over that. The delivery street, the delivery city, the delivery state, the delivery zip, the CC number, the CC expiration, and the CVV, sorry. And then obviously the button that says submit order. I believe we are going on to our next last controller. Oh, I think we are done with the explanation. I think that is it for ships too. So I covered everything over here, and that will be it. I don't think I have any questions, so thank you for watching.